Welcome back to West Texas View.
We've been talking with Amy Hendrick, who's the Interim Executive Director for Samaraitan Counseling Center. And I'm very familiar with the Samaraitan Counseling Center because I was once president of the board, and so I have a great feeling for what they do, and I know firsthand because I've seen it. They have been in existence for 43 years, and they deal not only with just your problems that have brought you there, but the aspects of your mind, body, and spirit. So we need to continue to get information from Amy, so you'll have this wrapped up. You met some of her staff members several Sundays ago because we did a series of programs, and they gave a little bit of information about their specialties, whether it was veterans or the clergy counseling or some of the other things. But something that always draws a lot of attention is your children's program. And you've got one called For Kids' Sake Seminars, and this has really struck a nerve for a lot of people.
For Kids' Sake is an excellent program. Now, the program is actually for the parents. And the state of Texas mandates that parents going through a divorce that have children, parents, must go through some type of program. Now, they don't mandate For Kids' Sake, but there's lots of options that they can go to. Most of those are online. But we offer here, and we have offered it in Odessa for several years because the Junior League of Odessa started it, and Samaritan took that program from the league and maintained it. And we are now offering the same program in Midland that we offer in Odessa. So we offer 20 some odd programs over the course of the year in English and in Spanish that meet the requirements for that court-mandated
divorce
proceedings. Yes, thank you.
And is it available if you live in Crane?
Sure. Anybody in the area can come.
Counties.
Anybody in the area can come. We hold it.
And the purpose is
to teach parents to deal with those children. You know, everybody's having problems in a divorce.
And not to lose the children in the divorce.
Do not lose the children, and understand that while you're dealing with your issues in the divorce, what you and your spouse or soon-to-be ex-spouse, how you handle that, how that impacts those children. It's another form of parenting classes, if you will, but it's parenting from a different perspective. So it is a kid's program because the ultimate people who benefit are going to be the kids. And I just wrote a grant and talked about we want to have 300 and some odd parents come through that program. But for every parent that comes through that program, the national average is that 2.5, I don't know how you take half a kid, but 2.5 kids are touched by their training they receive in that program. So while we may just have so many people in class, the outcome of that, and a child who has that support and has, more support as they go through that divorce, has better time in life, in grades, in school, and everything.
And to teach the parent how that divorce is affecting them and how they can lessen that effect and keep from scars that are permanent on those children. And as they grow up, the bitterness or the resentment or the conflict.
There have been lots and lots of studies that will show, a kid whose parents are going through a divorce, and I said the kids are going through the divorce too. The kids are going through there. What has happened to them, and the grades that go down, and the other things that happen. And so, for a parent to understand that, and for us in this day and age now that we do know and we have that understanding to be able to address that. And that's what For Kids' Sake does. So we're pleased that we have it both in English and Spanish, that we have it on a Saturday and that we have it on an evening program. It's a 4-hour course, which is the mandated requirement. It's taught by our licensed counselors. These are available online from other places, but you are face-to-face with a licensed counselor who can answer those sometimes tough questions. And it meets all the requirements, and they give you some really good take-home, documentable things to do and how to help. And
how to talk to them.
How to talk to them, what to do. And all the judges, both Midland and Ector County judges, and attorneys, I think, are all behind this, that it really is a good program, and they've seen, that's why, because they've seen. So I think we've got really good support, and it's a great program, and we want it to be successful. And so I encourage anybody, and you don't have to be going through a divorce to go to the program. That's the other side of it. If you're the grandparent of a kid who's gone through a divorce, if you're just struggling with your kid, there's so much good parenting advice that we certainly don't limit that.
So a single parent that's already
been through that's saying, "Gosh, I wish I'd had it at the time." Yes, it is a program that's out there, and there is a $40 fee for that program,
which is nothing.
Which is fairly minimal, and it basically helps us cover our basic expenses. We do, like I said, we have space. We have it right now. We're at Midland Shared Spaces for the Midland one, and we're at the Ector County Annex for the Odessa one. We have one of our therapists there, and we have our bilingual therapist there for the Spanish one, and we do those, like I said, on Saturdays and Tuesdays, and those are posted, I believe, on our website. If not, you can call and find out. But both the courthouses have all the information.
Well, does this ever lead to these people who are going through this conflict and eventual divorce ever say, "Wait a minute, let me stop and go to marital counseling"?
I don't really know that. I think maybe by the time they're into that, they've probably gotten to that point. But that that brings up another point. We do marital counseling out at the center. We have a licensed marital family therapist out there. The clinical director and I were just talking the other day. We do premarital counseling.
Yes.
And we were talking about why don't more people do that? And so many of us, if we had any of that, we had it with our minister.
That's right.
And maybe it was my minister because I got married in my church, and it wasn't my husband's minister or soon-to-be husband's minister. And so maybe we basically sat down the week before the wedding when we all happened to be in town, or a visit before the wedding. And, that might not really be counseling. And there's so much that just basic communication
can make that.
That's right.
Union
easier,
stronger.
Just easier. Make it easier on everybody.
And why not start off as strong as you can?
That's right.
Instead of having problems and saying, "Well, okay, now I've got to go to marital counseling."
That's right.
And this leads me though to another thing that I loved when I was really involved in the Samaritan Counseling Center, and that was the family counseling, where there was conflicts between parents and children. And so we're going to have to take a break right now.
Okay.
And so we'll come back and talk about that in just a minute. We'll see you in just a second. Thank you.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.